So at this point, I almost feel like Spider-Man 3 should be renamed Avengers 5, because it's almost looking like it's going to be the biggest budget movie in the world, with all these actors returning, with Andrew Garfield, with Tobey Maguire, with War Stew, with Emma Stone, with William Dafoe, with Jamie Foxx, with Kirsten Dunst, etc. So what is good, YouTube? War Stew here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. At the 100,000 subscribe mark, I will be giving away something that is so damn cool you don't want to miss out. So check us out on Instagram at War Stew if you want to know what the face behind the voice looks like. And also check us out on Twitter, WarStewG. That would be much appreciated. So Spider-Man 3 is turning into the biggest event ever. Personally, we here at the YouTube channel, I think this is all building up to Secret Wars or Battleground in a few years. So let's get into this video. So allegedly, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire have been seen on set, apparently. Now, I've already been over this first incident before. So essentially in the thumbnail, you see there's someone that looks like Andrew Garfield, but he actually looks like Tom Holland, because it's actually Tom Holland's stunt double. But for some reason, people get confused and think this was Andrew Garfield on set in Atlanta, probably like, I guess, a month ago or so. But there is a new instance you'll see in the thumbnail, is a new image of the 45-year-old Spider-Man that is Tobey Maguire. Now, Tobey Maguire is now 45, so yesterday, and I don't know why some people were reporting this, that he was actually in a costume fitting in ATL Atlanta. So JustJared.com, a very respectable website for taking pictures of celebrities and all that kind of stuff. They took a picture of Tobey Maguire in LA, Los Angeles, the place of dreams, apparently. But yeah, some people reported that Tobey Maguire is actually in Atlanta, which no, it's not the case, because if you look at the report, he actually was taking pictures of a costume fitting in somewhere in LA. Now, this is interesting, because just because we've got all this Spider-Man 3 news, I mean Avengers 5 news going around, it doesn't actually mean that this guy has anything to do with Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire. But you'll see in the thumbnail, the hairstyle looks exactly the same. He's got the kind of the Peter Parker look. So I honestly think the more news we find out, the more transparent and the more reasoning I can see why everyone is getting behind the idea that yes, Tobey Maguire was actually there for a costume fit-in, for maybe a new Spider-Man suit, or the old Spider-Man suit, adjusting it because obviously he's older now. And the same thing with Andrew Garfield. So the Andrew Garfield story is more interesting, because I hear lots of stuff from all the insiders. I talk to everyone indirectly, directly sometimes. So it's interesting. So the story is that Tobey Maguire's literally penned, and the other story is Andrew Garfield hasn't penned because he wants to get Spider-Man 4. Apparently they're both getting their own Spider-Man movie, and apparently this was all like cemented a year ago. So Jake Hamilton, Jake Talks YouTube channel, he interviewed Tom Holland during the press junket in UK for Spider-Man Far From Home. Essentially asked about the Spideyverse. So some people seem to think that this has been set up for over a year now, and even if this was the case, do you really think an actor like Tom Holland would know that they were building up to the Spideyverse? It doesn't matter that he is the main star of Spider. Well, actually, is he? Because I put a thing up on Twitter the other day going, is Tom Holland even in this movie? So even if they were building up to this, even if this was a Sony plan, even if this was part of the new MCU Sonyverse agreement that they'll build up to the Spideyverse in Spider-Man 3, there is no way in hell that Tom Holland would know. Yes, Tom Holland is important. Yes, Tom Holland is an actor, but he's just that. He's an actor. There's no way in hell that he knew if this was actually coming, because like some people report this as factual and some people report it as gospel, and some people like take it with a pinch of salt, because if you actually look at all the stories, there actually isn't much that's been confirmed. The only one that's actually confirmed is Jamie Foxx. The other stuff is kind of hearsay, like scooper say, Twitter scooper, like the Charlie Cox Daredevil. Now that story, it's just a story for now. There is no evidence. There's nothing suggesting that it's real. I mean, of course, Charlie Cox is amazing. I've seen him in the theatre in London in a kind of theatre play called Betrayal with ironically Tom Hiddleston, who is a Loki. But yeah, Charlie Cox is a great actor. But as far as we know at the channel, after cross-referencing everything, the Daredevil story it's just a story for now. The only thing that's factually set in stone is Jamie Foxx will be returning and Tom Holland in the movie. So guys, let me know, do you think the person with Tom Holland is actually a stunt double, or was it Andrew Garfield? But you got to note that was taken over a month ago. And do you think Tobey Maguire is heading to set very soon? Now the interesting thing here is the story's pretty much broke on every single website multiple times a day, to the point now where Sony can't keep denying it, even if it's true or if it isn't true, to the point where they're going to have to officially say something, because, you know, pictures will leak unless they're going to do it on a disclosed location and green screen and blue screen, everything somewhere in LA. But it's just very interesting. I was asked to cover this story. It's probably going to be covered by like 100 different people before I get round to it. But it is very interesting that, you know, he had a costume fit in, and you look on like Google it, and people are like suggesting that like he was actually there to, you know, he was actually seen on set, like set photos, and it's literally a picture of him getting out of a car. So it is very ambiguous the way some people are labeling this and suggesting it, but we've been guilty of doing this in the past as well, so I don't blame people for labeling it in this manner. But it's very interesting that he's had a costume fit in, the story broke. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe he's trolling, maybe he's going to a wedding, maybe it's literally for another role. It could be literally for anything. He is an actor. It could actually be for anything, couldn't it? So let me know down below, guys. Was that Andrew Garfield on set with Tom Holland, or is it just his, you know, stunt double, which I'm pretty sure it is Greg? And also let me know, was Tobey Maguire actually there for anything Spider-Man 3 related? Because it is interesting how this story keeps changing. The story was everything was penned from the fandom report back in March. Then we get a new story from a more reputable source saying that no, this information actually is only recently happening in the past 2 months, and it's still not penned yet. They are going back and forth in negotiations. So it's hard to know who, what, where, or how to believe with stories from reputable websites saying stuff and then being contradicted by other websites and then going back and forth, and then you realize the origin of the story. It's very interesting to see if this actually turns out to be true. It will be pretty epic, but you got to set your expectations pretty low, guys. Why? Because it's going to be a 5 to 10 minute cameo role. They have said that Tom Holland, Spider-Man, is the pinnacle star of this movie. So even if all these, you know, MJs and, you know, War Stews and Peter Parker's coming back, it will literally be for a minimal role. It will not be for a main cast role, but it will pull in people to go watch it at the box office. So like always, guys, let me know everything you think down below. Do you enjoy Spider-Man 3 content? Are you even bothered about Spider-Man 3, or do you want to watch the Snyder Cut more? So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram if you want to know what I look like, at WarStew, Twitter, WarStewG, and I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch you later.